Welcome to the show, everyone, and happy Monday. It's beautiful out there. We might even get a little rain this week. I love talking about what people do, and that's what I do on this show, and I tell everybody to talk to everyone within 3 feet of them, and that's what we're doing here on the radio through everybody out there to you. And what I love about my show more than anything is it's information for people out there. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's someone that you know that might need something here. And we're going to let people call in throughout the rest of the show. We're going to be doing giveaways today. Our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. Get ready because we're going to do some really cool giveaways. I want to go in with my first guest who has never been on the air with me before. We're live on Facebook. There's my hand out there, but I want to say hi to everybody out there too. I have with me T, and she's the owner of Enerchi. Welcome to the show. You have to tell everybody about yourself because before you came on, you had a story, and I said, you got to tell that story to everybody. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Well, thank you. First of all, thank you so much for having me. This is really fun. So my name is T with Enerchi Hypnotherapy, and from the name you can guess, I do hypnosis and hypnotherapy. But I didn't always, this wasn't something that as a little girl, I wanted to do. The way I got started in this is a few years back, I had a death in my family. Didn't have a good childhood. The person that pretty much helped me and helped me escape from abusive situations, which was my aunt. She was more of a mother to me than anyone. I didn't have a mom. My dad took me when I was 2. A lot of trauma, and I buried it, and I survived, and had great companies, made millions of dollars, drove nice cars, had a happy life, and everything looked good from the outside. And that's the way it was. I was in survival mode my entire freaking life, and that's the way that it went.
Well, I got to talk to you because, you do a lot of different things. The name of your company is Enerchi. Mm-hmm. Why did you call it that?
I called it Enerchi because energy is in everything. The entire universe revolves around energy, positive and negative, this table and everything. So through my healing of all of that, I learned about energy and hypnotherapy. And both of those include energy. Everybody transmits energy to one through another. There's a big thing to it. So chi is the energy that is called, you can call it ki or prana, but chi is one of the energy modalities, and it's the same. It's used in Reiki, it's used in quantum touch, it's used in all of those. So I thought it was cute to have the name Energy be an Enerchi, and then rhyming with hypnotherapy.
Right, but here's the thing about you. You do lots of different things, and that's when I had no idea that it was just one. It's not just one thing, because everything sort of melds together. There are different modalities, really, that you do. I want to talk a little bit about some of the different ones that you do, okay? Obviously, we're going to talk a little bit about the Reiki.
Yes.
But I want to talk about the...
And I'm like, I have these hiccups, but I want these, when I was doing the whole thing, my hips went away like that. Mm-hmm. So I started using it on people. One of the men that I used it on, he was this big, strong man in stage 4 lung cancer, and there was different things we were going through, and it helped him release some anger, and so it really did help him. So.
Well, you know what? We all know that when we are having, let's say, a headache, what do? We put pressure on our temples and tapping and things like that. I've heard a little bit about it. It's pretty neat, guys. I think it's a really interesting thing, and I know it works. It releases a lot. We know that vibration's really good for us, so it's all sort of like the same kind of thing. But having somebody being able to do this with you, guided in a way, right? Is that correct?
Yes.
You also do guided meditation.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
So the meditation is something that is done almost every single time I see somebody pass that free consultation, because we tend to get so into ourselves and our thoughts, and it's hard to really heal or go anywhere unless we can just really step out of who we are and relax, and I help people to do that.
Now, we're going to open up the lines to the audience, because what she wants to do is enter everybody into it's a wellness therapy session We can't call it one thing because there are all sorts of things that she can do. But I think the first thing is you've got to get to know the person because they have a story. They have stuff that they're holding on to and going through. So whether it's you or someone that you know, we're going to let everyone call throughout the rest of the show to get entered into win, or we want to just give it to everyone. What do you want to do?
So what I'd like to do, and then I also want to give a free hour, and I say an hour, I don't charge by the hour, I charge by the session. So when I say an hour, it's a session, it's not an hour. And that includes seeing somebody for the first time. I need to see you in person, first of all, to see, like, will this work? And
we're going to talk about that too.
But that's what I'd like to give away. I'd like somebody to come see me one time, which will actually equate to 2 times.
Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to open up the lines of the audience, and I want people to call in, whether it's you or someone that you know. Our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. You can also check her out on Facebook at just the letter T with Enerchi. So that's Enerchi. And then, of course, she does free consultations. You're in Arrowhead, so you require those people to work with you in person. It's not necessarily, this is not the kind of thing you're going to do over Zoom. You're going to get to know each other, and you're going to really sit down and when you work with her, I'm assuming that you really get to know that person pretty well because, you know, you've got you with the Reiki that you do and the tapping and all of that, so that requires you to be one-on-one. Is that correct?
It is, and it's a really intimate thing that happens when I am with somebody. When I am with people, I also want to see their body language. Is this something you want for you, or does somebody else want this? Because if you don't really want the help, then I will refer you to somebody that I know that does a great job, but it's not me.
Yeah, I mean, you need to want help. I mean, that's another thing. Everybody, you need to understand that whenever you do something like this, and how many people really don't? I think we don't know how, well, I think a lot of people do want it, but they tend to sit down and they'll procrastinate. We know that, right? But I think that we do know that people want to get help. More so than ever. I think more people, more than ever, I'm finding whether you are right, left, middle, or whatever, you are open to different things, right?
Yes.
Because the old ways didn't work so much, so now we know that a lot of us are now open to these things. And so whether it's, you know, the guided meditation, the Reiki, the tapping, or whatever it is that you're going to bring into that session with them, we've got our lines open here. We're going to let everyone call throughout the rest of the show. Our number here, 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. She's rated with the Better Business Bureau. Also, you might want to call her direct. She does free consultations. The number direct is either 833-ENERCHI, and that's ENERCHI, or you can also call her direct here at 480-369-1683. Now, we're going to go to a break. When we come back, I want to talk further about some of the different things that you do. And also, one of the other things that you said was manifestation.
Yes.
So does that manifestation in anything in your life or what?
Yes. So energy attracts energy. And so it's so easy when we're stressed about bills or our relationships in our life are really, really sad to stay stuck in that and to wallow. Life is a heartbeat. We're not flatlined, so we're going to have things that go up and down. But what happens so easily is it's so easy for us to stay down in that ditch and almost just, without even really knowing it, subconsciously staying down there and just wanting other people to feel bad with us. What we need to do is just pull out of there and look up there and want that. And whatever it is you want, look at it, manifest it is what and as though you have it, and it works.
You know, it does. We're all knowing about the secret, and these are
Yes.
some of the secrets that you're learning right here
Yes.
that help you with getting to where you want to be. Our lines are open for everybody to get entered into win. This is it's a 1-hour wellness therapy session with her. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Go up on our website. It's energy.me. So we're going to continue talking because we are live on Facebook here, okay?
All right.
And so I want to ask you of when you're working with people, what's a session look like?
So what a session looks like is first I'll meet somebody in person, and I'm an empath, and so I can feel what other people are feeling, and I'm a little bit guarded the first time. If anybody knows about Tai Chi or the chakras or something, I'm able to kind of, protect myself and really get to know that person and feel. And then that if we decide to work together, which there's only been 2 times where I've referred them out, the first actual session will be, I am almost completely unguarded, and I will almost blend with them intuitively, and we will do some grounding work. We will see where we're at. We're going to do a lot
When
of...
you say grounding work, what does that mean?
So we will do it together. Like, I will ground with them. For example, I might, have us say, okay, close your eyes and imagine that you're a tree, and then it'll take maybe about 2 minutes or something, and then there's something called a sway test, and it'll tell us if we're grounded. If you are, great. If you're not, great too. It just tells you where you're at. And then what we'll do is I'll sit with somebody and I'll get them really relaxed. Generally, the first time, it's really hard for people to relax and have the thoughts like, oh, this isn't working. Then what? So what I'll do is I'll take them on journeys. So I will go through and relax the body until you can't necessarily, maybe you won't feel your feet anymore.
I just have the name of your show.
All
Journeys with Energy. So
Excellent.
I am finding it. I like you.
It is Journeys.
Yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about that, the grounding and the journeys and things like that you do, because this is different than anyone else out there. This is not something where somebody just comes in and you sit down and we need to let them understand that.
It's healing.
Now, okay, so I'm gonna go back onto the radio now. Okay.
All right.
Just to let you know, something must have happened. We did have a little glitch in but it's okay because I have all 3 backups, so we're okay. It is technology.
Everything happens for a reason.
Huh?
Everything happens for a reason.
It just that part I have no control over, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4 going here. So, but you like what I'm doing?
I love it.
Okay, good. But now you can see how you can really go more narrow and deep.
Yes.
Because it's so different than just lightly talking about it. I like what you're doing, it's fine, but I can tell you we could go so much more narrow and deep on it.
Yeah.
Because you're just sort of lightly talking about it, you know? I'll tell you what I mean. These are commercials that I also have, and I'll tell you all about that later. But right now, it's going to get you through.
Okay.
So welcome back, everyone. We're talking with Chi, and she's the T. I said Chi, the owner of Chi Enerchi. And what we're doing is here right now. We've been talking on Facebook a little bit about certain things, and I asked you what the first session sort of looks like, and you mentioned things like we do it a little bit. You talk as if I know what you're saying. Luckily, I sort of do. But we talked about a little bit of grounding, and then we also do some journey work. So you're not the typical hypnotherapists, let's say, out there. You really truly are very different in that you do some modalities that people never even talk about. For instance, when you said grounding work, what's grounding work?
So grounding work is really, at the simplest term, to just see if you're okay with who you are right now. And there's a lot more to that, but that's basically, in the beginning, we'll just, we do it together. Am I okay? And then there's something called a sway test. And if you are okay with yourself, that's perfect. And if you're not, that's perfect too, because you will be soon.
You know what? Then you said sometimes I take them on a journey.
Yes.
Okay. Well, what do you mean by that?
So most always I take them on a journey because I really want to get people to just get out of their thinking, stop thinking about what they're going to cook for dinner and this and that. So I'll relax their entire body till they can't even feel their muscles most of the time. And then maybe I'll say something like, imagine you're in a magical forest and the stars are bright and the moon is shining on the forest trees, and I'll have them smell the moisture in the air and then just hit every single scent and every single sight in here. And before you know it, it's like they're so relaxed, and it's like you're being told a bedtime story by somebody that loved you when you were a child.
Just the first 4 words started to mesmerize me because listen to her voice. I mean, just in that way, you just have that sort of tone about you, and you yourself are grounded, and so you bring that, I think, to the people.
Correct. So I'm glad you said that, because I am an energy worker and I am a Reiki Grandmaster, so I can teach it. But I really focus on quantum touch, and they're the same energy, but it's different principles. And so if you can imagine, what happens is I make sure I am so good before I see somebody. I do a lot of meditation. I make sure, like, if there's any angry in me, I get it out. Because if you could think of a drop of water just sitting here and then a whirlpool over here, if you drop that water into the whirlpool, it's going to manifest that. If you take this whirlpool and put it in the drop, it's going to manifest that. So I have to have the higher vibration, and then my clients take that on.
Now, we've got our lines open here for everyone to get entered in to win a 1 hour, where it's a wellness therapy session that you're getting from her. And there's different, a lot of different modalities that, I think are really neat. I think everyone would really want to try and sort of try some of the different ones, like the tapping and the meditation or the manifest. Obviously, I think the hypnotherapy just goes along with all of that right away. Now, you're located in Arrowhead, but then this requires to be in person. This is something that is more, it's a very personalized therapy session that you're talking about here. You do free consultations with everybody. She is rated with the Better Business Bureau. You could check her out also on Facebook at T with Enerchi, Enerchi. You can also call in here and get entered in to win, and we're going to let everyone call throughout the rest of the show. If you've never, ever experienced something like this, have the conversation with her. If you have and you kind of think it's neat to try and add some of the different modalities that she's talking about here, call in and get this. Maybe it's you, maybe it's someone that you know. I think everybody, honestly, I don't think anyone is without any type of either anger that's inside of them or wants to get further, because you can't be satisfied. You have to be dissatisfied. You always want more, right?
Well, with the beginning of the year, so I'm seeing a lot of clients right now who want to lose weight and quit smoking.
Yeah, like
Easy.
that. Easy. Okay,
Yeah.
so obviously in the beginning of the year, we always look and talk about stuff like that, but I think there's so much more, especially today, especially right now. I think, in the last maybe 5 or 10 years more so, that people have really looked to want more for their lives and to how to reach it. There's so many different ways now. Obviously, when you talk about energy, okay?
Yes.
And it's amazing how it really works. I mean, I am so maybe on the tip of the iceberg, maybe, that I've tried a little tiny bit of that. But it's so much that it works. Anybody that's ever tried it will admit.
It just really, at the end of the day, everything I do is I help people fall in love with themselves. That is our true nature, to love ourselves and to love other people. And when our energies are not in alignment, it is really hard to do that when the entire world is just crazy sometimes.
When you work with people, how many sessions does it usually take? Or can you even put a number on this?
Yes, one session is enough, and I can't guarantee that. I'm not a doctor. I can't diagnose or do any of that, but one session is enough. However, I recommend 6. And the reason why is because if anybody's ever planted grass, what I do is I plant seeds, and they're good. And then if they come back, it's like getting a mind massage, and I'm watering those seeds, and they just sprout up more. They come back again, and it's also, it's exciting for them to come back to say, oh my goodness, you know what I did? I got a job, and I lost 4 pounds, and my husband and I are getting along. It's just, they love to come back and just tell me what they're doing.
Do people come back, let's say, do you think people like this to do this like a couple times a month, or they do it once a month? How does that work?
So, I really, most of the people that come back, they're doing great. My repeats, they don't come back because they're not. The success rate that I have right now is actually 100%, which I think I am so happy about that. But the people that come back, it's more like a once a month thing when I see people, and sometimes they'll skip a month because of life, but it's about once a month.
So I think people think of all of this and they say, well, this is this hoo-hoo-y, foo-foo-y kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it really isn't.
I used to think that until it changed me.
Right, and it changed your life.
Yes.
And you said that you were stuck at the point where it was like for 3 years, you had just a life that was just...
Addictions, if it was just sad, doing anything to be happy. I have, a son who's married and has a child, but if it wasn't for him, I was having suicidal thoughts.
Wow.
And that's not me.
Mm-hmm.
That's not anybody, but I understand how it can happen now.
Right. So you've been in their shoes. You've walked their you sort of walk the talk.
Correct.
When you work with somebody and you sit down, and it's the hour, we sit down, we have you said you get grounded, and then, you're going to take them on that journey, okay, which obviously puts them in a wonderful state. Do you usually do things like do you do the tapping first, or do you do the energy? Do you do the Reiki? Reiki is a wonderful thing.
The thing is the tapping isn't something that I do all of the time unless I feel like there's a real need for it. Because even though I know it works, it still makes me laugh sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And every single time I'm with somebody, I do energy work. Every single time. Energy, like if you've ever been driving down the street and you feel like somebody's looking at you and you look over in that car and they're looking at you, energy's being transferred. So every single person that that's what my slogan is, I help you heal you with Hue, and that's hypnotherapy mixed with universal energy,
Mm-hmm.
because all hypnosis is self-hypnosis and everything is energy, and so it's all together.
It is all together when you're working with somebody like that, and you are actually within them. It sounds like you
Yes.
really get to
Blend.
be a part of them.
Yes.
Right? And when people tell you their stories, okay, you said you have 100% success rate, right? Is there anything ever been really super hard that has been like the hardest thing that you've ever dealt with?
Yes. So I've dealt with a lot of people, but I know I mentioned this once before, and I think it's because it resonates with me. So I had a stage 4 lung cancer guy that was coming to me because I wanted to heal him. And I know I said everybody heals themselves. I wanted to shrink his tumor. I've seen that done with I've done energy work and seen tumors disappear. I can't guarantee that. He was in stage 4. I wanted to help him. I've done a lot of research with cancer. Being emotional triggers can cause certain cancers in some researches. The hardest part with him is he did a lot better, but he ended up dying.
You know what's really sad is that sometimes when some people wait too long, and there's certain things that we all still need to have doctors for, right?
Yes, yes.
But all of this just adds to it. It
Correct.
makes it that much better. It's a wonderful thing, and I think that what I love about you is that you have a wellness. It's a center. It isn't just one thing. There's many things that you offer, whether it's the hypnotherapy, the Reiki, the tapping, the manifestation, guided meditation. I mean, there's just so much.
Sound therapy.
There's so much. I mean, you have to talk about that sometime. Honestly, people, we're knowing that right now we're looking for different things. We're reaching out there right now, and we've got our lines open here, and we'll let everyone call throughout the rest of the show to get wellness therapy session. This is a 1-hour session. Our number here, 602-277-5369. Check her out. It's energy.me.